Hello and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today we are back in the Brock Bourbon Bar and we are chilling and everybody's got the giggles. I have no idea what's going on. I guess because I came on so silky smooth as usual.
That is completely it.
That's completely it.
Definitely it. Just sliding right through the old ear canals.
There we go. So
Gross.
We're back in the Brock Bourbon Bar.
It sounded kind of
And
good, actually. I thought it sounded kind of cool. Not cool. Never mind. I'm going to stop talking.
We're going to do a review today, and not
Sounds
unusual.
great.
We do that usually, but today we got a couple of what I would consider the 2022 releases. We got the July release of the 117 series, which is the Whiskey Row Fire Series bottle, and then we have the newest release, which was just released here in December, the 1910 Extra Extra Old, which was, I believe, a 24-month aged 1910 bottle.
Yes.
So excited to try these. The 1910 Extra Extra Old is swinging in at right around 97 proof, and the Whiskey Row Fire Series is swinging in right at 100 proof. So, So how's everybody doing? And everybody excited? Everybody have a good Christmas?
Great Christmas.
It was a terrible Christmas. I'm just kidding. No, it was a good Christmas.
You liar.
It was a good Christmas.
It was your first Christmas as a married man.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah,
good.
how did that go?
It went good.
All right.
Got her the same quality gifts that I would have gotten her whether we were married or not. So
There you go.
All righty.
Did you get the same quality gifts?
No, I got a nickel and one sock.
There you go. So
All
nickel
right.
and a sock.
Sounds about right.
A little bit of coal. There you go.
It's to match the one sock you got the year before.
There you go.
This is its partner.
This is true. But
mean,
they're different colors, though. I don't
Listen,
understand.
socks are important.
Absolutely.
I love getting socks. They're
got-
super important.
Scott.
I've got 3 toes sticking out of my sock right now.
Your socks get a bit crusty, do they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crusty socks. I love my socks. No, honestly, I do love getting socks, and the main reason was because I like fancy socks, like dress socks and things like that. Being a banker, you don't typically have a whole lot of things that you can do with your outfit to kind of differentiate yourself from everybody else. Like for me, it's it's a dress shirt, polo, a pair of khakis, blah blah blah, dress shirt. So nothing. I mean, I guess I could get flashy and wear a special suit and things like that, or like whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, it's socks. Like
Bring your personality
yes.
out a little bit. Have some fun.
So for me, it's socks. So like I got Darth Vader. I've got sports socks. I've got bourbon socks. I've got socks about this, socks about that. I've got socks that say "Go fuck your mom." I mean, I've got socks that say everything. So like it's one of those funny things.
So those are your Mother's Day socks?
Those are my Mother's Day socks. That's right. I want a pair that says "I fucked your mom," and I want to wear them for my kids, so that way they know where they came from. But it's one of those funny things. But anyway,
You need to get winter ones when it snows, and you wear those that say "I plowed your mom."
Oh, my God.
So we're talking about socks.
that could be farming too. Summertime.
Lord
That's
help
true.
us all.
Bring us back in, Barbara.
Bring us back to the 117 series,
Well,
Barbara.
except I was going to talk about socks.
Oh,
Okay. Socks.
no. Oh, wait a minute. Is this a barbarism? We're going to go on? Like,
No, just a really
Good.
quick
All right,
little
quick
thing.
talk.
So for Christmas, my big thing, kind of like Scott was saying, at work, I have to wear scrubs. So my kind of outlet in December is Christmas earrings and Christmas socks. And I have enough to go through the entire month without repeats.
see, that's the thing.
Different every day.
Aye.
Impressive.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Aye, Captain Crash. All right, so 1910, Old Forester 117 series, 1910 Extra Extra Old is what we're going to try here first. And I'm going to tell you what, boy, the nose on this thing got some, it should be the one on your left.
Thank you.
It's like reading a book, Barbara,
Sorry.
left to right. Unless you're reading manga, then it would be right to left. But
You get fruity?
yeah, definitely.
Fruity? Dark?
Yes.
Dark fruity.
Yep,
Ooh.
dark fruit,
Super dark fruit.
some plum.
Nectarine.
You're getting nectarine.
Whoa.
You're
So,
getting
would you
citrus.
consider... Okay, never mind. I was going to say nectarine. You would consider citrus. I thought we said one time that there was...
Oh my God, no. Yes, a nectarine is
prepared.
not a dark fruit.
No, I thought one
Definitely
time we
citrus.
talked about like nectarine or a clementine or something like that was more sweet than it was citrusy or something.
So yeah, I could definitely say yes.
that what we were talking about?
Nectarine or a clementine would be a little bit more.
That's what
yes.
it was. That's what it was. I'm sorry. This episode's off the rails.
That is off the
We need
rails.
to just cut
This is
thing,
not even
kill
5
it.
minutes in this episode, and it's already been ruined by Jared 3 times.
You're welcome.
But dude, the nose on this thing's really, really good. It's nice and
wonderful.
delicate. It's got some nice oak notes.
I get walnut.
Little-
a lot.
Char.
Yeah, there's a lot of char. I'm
Yeah.
getting like some marshmallow,
I haven't
a
gotten
little bit of
that
chocolate.
I got a little clove.
Yeah, a little baking spice. I don't know that it's clove necessarily, though. Maybe it is clove. I don't know. It's really unique. I'm going to dive in.
It's got that kind of dusty bourbon musk to it,
Yes.
but sweeter and very lovely.
yet. Is it lovely?
Oh, it is.
It's
Lovely.
it's lovely.
It is really lovely. Wow, caramel, a little bit of banana, a little bit of vanilla. It's got a really, really rich oak flavor, like that wood's coming through. It's got some other that plum is not plum anymore. It's more of a
Oh, what is that fruit?
Is it borderline fig? Kind
it could be
going into
fig.
that
It could be a little
territory?
fig, but it's in the ballpark. It's definitely a
Yeah.
darker fruit. I'm even getting a little bit of cherry, almost like
Yeah, like a really dark cherry.
like a dark
dark cherry.
Where in your palate are you getting that? I'm trying to pick that out.
mid to back.
Mid to back. Yeah.
I just remembered I did take a picture of the receipt,
Yep.
and it has the tasting notes on it.
Oh, does it?
that's
Okay,
cool.
so that's cool. So
I don't know when you want to look at that.
Here in just a second.
Yeah, that's what I
Is
figured.
anybody else getting anything else on this?
There's a
getting a little vanilla.
smokiness to it, but I don't know if it's pepper or if it's a smoke. But there's a spice that I enjoy.
Let's see. I almost got a little spiciness, kind of like more on the tip of my, more on the front of my
Yeah,
tongue.
I think that's the oak. I
You think that's what that
I
is?
think that's from the double oaking.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Because were you explaining to me, this is where they have their standard char and then they do the alligator char on their second
yes,
oak
correct.
barrel. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
that's in the second barrel, and they age it for 2 years.
So that must be what we're getting, is the remnants of that.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, that smells so good still. I'm back to smelling it.
I know. It's oof.
It's delicate, but it's got a weight to it as well.
It does, and it's got great legs. It
Oh, I
actually
know.
does.
That's what I noticed before we even started this thing. I was looking at it. Legs are
Almost a little-
fantastic.
It's almost a little red hot candy.
Well, I could somewhat get
Right
where
under
you're
the
getting
tongue.
that heat from the red hot candy. I don't know that I'm getting necessarily a cinnamon though.
Yeah.
The finish is kind of fast, though.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's a little quicker than I was expecting. Let me put it that
but
way.
it's 97 proof.
True. I'll give you that. But
Yeah.
there's a nice dark chocolate note on the finisher
Yeah.
after the
No,
finish.
for sure.
Super
I'm
nice.
getting a lot of chocolate. That's what I said. It's almost like it's weird. It's almost like a s'more. There's some marshmallow. There's a little bit of that chocolate. I'm not getting like the graham cracker piece, but I'm getting kind of that chocolate, a little bit of that marshmallow. Like I said, I'm getting some dark fruit, like almost like a super tart cherry or dark cherry.
At the same time, it might be a little bit of that graham that is bringing out a little bit of that spice.
I mean, it could
Because
be.
graham has a little bit of cinnamon.
It's got a little cinnamon. It's got a little bit of baking spice.
Yeah.
So since we are in the Brock's house, are we using our fancy little water droppers to add water to this, or are we just sticking with it the way it is? I'm fine either way.
I really don't want to add water.
I think,
know,
yeah,
it's
already
given,
You can see how fast I'm
given
going
how
down on
wonderful
this
it tastes and the limited size of the
And-
bottle,
and-
I think.
1910, 1920 are kind of my favorites.
I just
so
got
I
the-
have a really hard time of doing this. But Barbara's making me do it because I can hear her over there wincing. And
It's really hard for me not to.
I
Dark
just got
chocolate
the-
is so good.
I got that vanilla note on the nose. If you got to lift it, you got to put the top of the glass right on your nose, and you get it right up there. That's where I was getting the vanilla.
It's like the dark chocolate and sea salt. I mean, clearly it doesn't like salty flavor, but
I would call it almost like a Majeska, like that caramel wrapped marshmallow type, you know?
Yeah.
That stuff is delicious.
caramel wrapped marshmallow.
Have you never had a Majeska?
No, you should have got one on the tour.
Dude, you're Catholic. How's that not possible?
I didn't eat it.
well, there's your answer then.
Yeah, I dropped it on Market Street as I was walking to my car.
Why didn't you
Yeah,
just
and that's
eat
wrapped
it
in
during
chocolate.
the
Even.
tour?
That's what I'm saying. Most people just eat it during. I eat it during the tasting.
It was a weird.
Or
It was an okay tour, but it just felt like I didn't have a good opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, I didn't want to be like the only fat guy there eating their marshmallow chocolate wrap, whatever.
Weirdly enough, does it get sweeter
Thank you.
with the
So it
water?
gets sweeter,
Very,
but
very quick, but then it gets. I
all
get
rye.
You
It's
got
all
it.
rye.
All
Yep.
rye.
It
on
kills.
the palate.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like it's sweet up front. Like as soon as you taste it, you get like that sweetness from the rye, and then the whole mid palate is nothing but like
Mid, and then it-
rye,
it
and
keeps
then
running.
and then the finish is completely gone now.
Yeah.
With just a drop of water.
Oh wow, that does.
Did it go down the wrong pipe there, brother?
Try not to kill yourself, please.
No promises.
No
I'll take his
promises.
bourbon if he does go.
Okay.
There you go. Fair enough.
Fuck you.
Older brother writes,
Nick gets my bourbon because it's actually his bourbon anyways. I'm sorry. You're going to have to dial that one down.
What about me?
I know, for real.
I mean, you can have it.
So
too.
rude.
I don't care.
So rude.
Lord.
Nick's right over John's shoulder. It was the first face
Line
I
of fire.
saw.
Line of fire. Line of sight.
he just has a shotgun that he's racking.
So, all right. So,
slowly.
give us the official tasting notes before we dive into this Whiskey
So-
Row Fire series.
So it has color, deep aged bronze, aroma, roasted coffee, rich maple syrup, dark chocolate, and caramel coat, hints of toasted coconut. That whole sentence just threw me
No,
off.
I
Sorry.
get the coconut after it said it. Yeah.
Fruit and smoky char foundation.
Gotcha.
Flavor, rich mocha coffee with hints of brandy and dark cherry fruit.
Yep. Dark cherry.
Finish, smooth, creamy chocolate coffee notes fade quickly.
Yep.
See, and I'm not,
Not
getting
getting
any
coffee.
coffee.
No.
So I could say I get where she's coming from with the coffee note because of it's because it's coming off the nose. So if you really dive back in on the nose of it, you get almost like that acidity that comes from coffee.
See, I was getting it more on the palate where it really dries your like your tongue out and
So
everything.
so
That's
that
what I was
what I would say that front to mid, there's just a little bit of acidity that I feel like you get from when you're drinking like a really robust coffee. And it's very faint. I can see where they're coming from with that. I don't get it as richly. That's not the note obviously I picked up because I didn't say it. But
I don't get it on the palate, but I put a couple drops of water in the empty Glencairn, and it does have that remnant of a coffee bean.
yeah,
Vanilla coffee bean.
I get the coffee more in the finish.
do you?
A lot more in the finish than I do on the palate.
get any there. I wish I could. It sounds
It's like a
really
weird
nice.
combination of like a bitter dark chocolate with a bitter coffee.
Well, and it
Is where
may
I'm
be
kinda getting
the dark chocolate that's throwing me because I don't like coffee in any way, shape, or form, but I love dark chocolate.
Right.
Interesting.
The darker, the better.
And they go better. They go well together. I mean, all right. Whiskey Row Fire Series, 100 proof. This one was released in July of 2022. Batch 1. Barbara's got the hiccups or something over there.
Oh, watch out. I do not have the official tasting notes for this one. I'm sorry. I didn't buy one of these. Well, I wasn't able to buy
Very
one
different
of these.
in the nose
Yep.
Oh.
from the previous.
It's got a little bit of that rye, a little bit of tobacco, some caramel.
I can hear lots of smelling going on. Everyone's
We're sniffing.
really hardly
Getting
intently
just
sniffing.
a faint amount of apple, but it's like almost like a golden delicious apple.
It's exactly what I was just thinking.
So yeah, it's definitely a brighter fruit, I think.
Yeah, it's that real like sweet, like mellow apple smell.
It's not your dark nectarine.
It's not your dark.
It is
nectarine.
not the dark, sweet citrus nectarine.
Yeah, that's definitely different for sure.
I got a little bit of honey, almost like
Thank you. That's what it.
I don't think it's necessarily like a caramelized apple type, but there's that sweet of a raw honey.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Honeycomb.
Right. Like
Type of
straight
honey.
from the hive.
Honey
Yeah.
crisp, sugar
It
crisp.
seems a little bit
No.
more. It seems almost like a medicinal honey though. Like there's some like florally notes to it.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking, like right from the hive, because
Yeah.
that one has a little bit more of that medicinal.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from.
Like a
I
slight
said,
bitterness to
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
I can see that.
It's just floral. Like it's almost like fresh honey. Like they just made it. Like it hasn't been sitting in the comb. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know
That's
if it's
wonderful.
I don't know if it's you all talking about floral or whatnot, but it went from the nose as I've been spinning it and everything went from more fruity to more floral. I don't know if it's because we've been talking about
the more
floral.
the more I spin it, the more I'm getting floral notes.
Yeah.
Like that sweetness is coming through. Like I'm getting some of that honey. I'm getting some caramel. Getting a little bit. A lot more florals coming through on this thing.
Nick brought up a little good
Little
point,
apple.
like an apple orchard.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
Almost
you've
like
got
the apple
that-
blossoms.
Yeah, those
Yep.
blossoms.
Yep.
And I should know those. I grew up with 2 apple trees in my backyard.
So you're getting that nice balance between the floral and the fruit.
Yeah.
Anybody taking a sip yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You give me
Still trying
tasting.
to figure that out.
What do you got on that while I'm taking a little sippy sip?
Honey, crisp, apple.
Yeah. Almost like a Fuji apple.
Yes. Go, Barbara, with the apples.
That char mixes with it. It's almost like a roasted apple a little bit too.
Yeah, like something you would do like an apple
Get a little
crisp in the
smokiness there at
oven
the
or
end.
something. There's a little bit of.
No, you don't get that.
I don't.
Oh, I do.
No, I get the
So
I get the
I get a little
char
bit of the
mixes with the
apple.
apple, and I don't know. I'm stupid though.
So it's funny. Like you say Fuji. The first thing that came to mind to me was Brayburn's which are very similar apples.
Yeah, they are
They're
very, very similar. Yes.
A what?
Brayburn.
Never heard of that.
Brayburn. What is a Brayburn?
So Brayburn is very similar to a Fuji. It's like a reddish yellow apple. It's just got some nice sweet undertone notes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure
It's got
that
a
we
little bit
need
of
to get
tartness.
Nick up over here. He just sent in another message that makes perfect sense. Dutch apple pie.
Dutch apple pie. I don't get enough baking spice.
Well, it's the sweet part of the Dutch apple pie.
Okay, I could see that. So yeah, like the
It's more
like
of
the
that
little
caramel
the
crust.
the crusty stuff on the
Yep.
top. I
Yep,
get what
yep,
you're.
yep.
I'm picking
Yeah.
up what you're putting down now, but that's still a lot of baking spice though. Like there's no cinnamon there to me.
No, there's not.
There's a little, but so you mentioned clove on the other one. I actually get more clove on this one than I do on the
Okay.
other one.
Okay.
But I don't know.
That tobacco's still coming through a little bit.
Tobacco, a little bit of ginger.
Yeah.
Man, this is nice.
This one's solid.
100 proof on this one.
Yeah, 100 proofer.
I think that little bit of push more, that some of that little bit higher proof than the other.
And it's gonna be like picking your favorite kid. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna take one more pull before I drop a drop of water in here.
You take a look at them legs.
They're not even moving.
Nope.
They're stuck.
I know.
I think the legs are better than on this one than they were on the 1910.
Oh yeah,
Agreed.
They are.
100%. All right, going in with a drop.
I feel like the finish hangs around a bit longer on this one,
Yep.
too.
But
Well,
it's
it's
not
with that
nearly as much dark chocolate
viscosity.
though.
I will say this is one.
Viscosity.
That word.
This really hits right at that 100 proof note.
It
though.
really
It
does.
It drinks really well. It drinks that proof. It's got some nice subtle idiosyncrasies to it.
Anyone get any kind of coffee or mocha on this one like the other?
No,
Nope.
'Cause I don't get
None.
anything.
Zero zilch.
Interesting.
not getting any chocolate or any cocoa.
Yeah, it's all just super like
Still
sweet
more,
fruit. Sweet
even with
floral.
water, there's still a lot of floral.
I know.
It is. It's interesting. It's a lot. It's like two opposite ends of the spectrum between these two.
Yeah.
It's completely
Kind
different.
of like a honeysuckle almost.
I can pick up that for sure. I'm trying not to use that that profile anymore because I feel like I use it a lot lately. But maybe I've just been picking it up because of the fact that I've been tying a lot of stuff to like childhood memories and stuff, like growing up on the farm, that type of stuff. But
this one does have that sweet field-like
Yeah.
aroma.
Oh, for
especially with
sure.
The water.
the field like aroma comes through a lot
Yeah,
stronger
out
after
in
you
the
add
coun-
that after you add the water.
But you
I
have to be
can't
out in the
talk.
country. All the way out in the country.
that water drop, it just opens up that nose. There's like so much more stuff going on with it. It's almost like I'm getting more of a stone fruit now.
I don't know, but has anybody tasted it yet?
Not with water. No. Did it improve? Barbara's acting like it
She's
did.
got a smile on her face, so that tells us something.
Chocolate.
A tiny bit of chocolate.
Yeah, not strong, but immediately I got chocolate.
With the water.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
That smokiness comes through, I think, a lot more too on the back end.
Yeah, a little bit more of the char comes through. The
But I
rise,
think
the rise coming forward.
You lose
just a
the
little
finish
bit.
entirely.
Yeah,
though.
the finish is gone.
It's
And that
completely gone.
part's kind of sucky, but
Damn, I don't know which one I like
I'm
more.
wondering
that
if
rye does come through.
and that
Good
might be
palate.
what I'm really, really liking, but I think John and I have a lot of the same palate.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to see
I'm
his
okay,
reaction.
I'm glad. I'm no. And we have the same thought because we see Jared over here rolling the Glencairn around.
Hey, Scott's
On
been
the
doing
side.
And
it.
I thought it was going to spill out.
Scott was doing it.
Listen,
made it
I'm
look
a
graceful.
professional.
I'm a professional too. I'm a semi-pro. I'm Will Smith
With
over
a
here,
1 ounce pour,
motherfucker.
you should be able to do this with it.
Yeah.
And that is what it's supposed to really do, is to coat the glass. I mean, it's to give, that way you can kind of fill the legs and look at it.
What you're doing is fine, but that's just playing loose and dangerous. What
What?
he's
There's
doing right
not that much in there.
As long as it's an ounce or less, you should be fine. You can actually probably go up to about an ounce and a half, and it
Scott-
still rolls and
Scott,
never have any problems
now. I'm
with it.
fine.
Is
I'm
this
not gonna
really
risk it.
worrying
No,
you?
thanks.
No, I'm fine with it, Jared. You obviously picked up something that I put down, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it makes him hard.
For once.
There's a weird. I was gonna say there's a weird joke in there somewhere, and then John took it there. Yep,
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So go back and smell that 1910 Extra O. Man, dude, like tobacco,
Oh
caramel,
man.
apple spice. Like, there's just so much going on with that nose now.
Wowzer.
That's like a creme brulee.
Dude, it's got so much crazy sugar.
Wow.
There is just so much complexity to it now.
And I was talking about that Majeska, dude, like that caramel with like a little bit of marshmallow. And all those things.
I think I can pull more of that now. That it's just
Especially
been-
get in mine. Like,
I'm going to get all up in there.
get in there.
You go right ahead and
nose
do that.
deep in that right there.
Ooh, some of the coconuts there too at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah. Almost like a fresh coconut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where it's not
So-
that really sweet coconut that you get in, the commercialized, but more straight up.
So I was
All right.
beginning.
Now
to,
these are just released this year.
Yep.
Do you think there are plans to release more?
Oh, they're going to
in the
definitely
years?
release more 117s. I mean,
Yeah.
these were always Jackie's
But-
babies, right? So
But
now that
then-
Melissa's there, it's kind of one of those catch-22s. Where do they go with the series,
Oh.
right? So
Right.
I think Jackie started the 1910 extra old, and then they kind of kept it going. And then when they release this one, it doesn't have anybody's signature on it. So Melissa doesn't have her stamp on this one. I'm curious to see where her tasting notes and her flavor profile goes as the 117 series continues on. But it is what it is. I think they're both delicious pours.
I'm impressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, if
do you want to think on it? And I'll go for.
no, I mean, if you want to go first, I'll let you go first. I'm
No,
more than happy
I-
to let you go first.
No, I don't care.
So for me, first, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go probably 1910 extra old. Like, there's just something about that caramel, that apple, that marshmallow I'm getting. There's a little bit of that coconut, which you get at the last minute. I really enjoy that. The whiskey row, I want them both neat. Even though there was a lot of complexity that came out of, especially the whiskey row series, or the whiskey row fire one, with a little bit of water. I'm gonna take neat both 1910 then whiskey fire.
Do it.
I'm gonna go. It was tough, and when we before I added the water, I was initially thinking I liked the whiskey row fire just because it was a lot more interesting. I felt like the 1910 extra old was very not plain and normal, but nothing like extremely popped out. Like, oh, this is so like wild. So I was initially going with the whiskey row fire, but then as I was thinking about it, I was like, no, I just like that extra old better. It just hits home better, like you
Yep.
were saying.
The
So I'm gonna
cherry,
go.
man, there's so much in that 1910. All right, so
Yeah.
you're 1910 whiskey fire.
Yep.
All right.
Let's get the men out of the way.
I'm going to agree with the gentleman on this one. However, I will say I think I do like the whiskey fire with water.
Was water better?
I do.
Okay.
I like the.
You like that rye pop? That
I
it's
like
giving
that
out the
rye
insight?
pop. That was just, but that's where I kind of sit at. So
Yeah.
that was really surprising. So I'm going to say that.
All right, Barbara.
All right. Gotta love the female persuasion, so to speak. I'm opposite. I am gonna go neat with both. I do prefer it neat. But I prefer that fire.
You like the whiskey?
The whiskey
row?
row fire.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Listen, they're both
it's
fantastic
just-
pours.
yes, absolutely. They're both incredible pours.
How much of that do you think is because there is more coffee in that 1917?
Except I don't pick up with that coffee. I get a lot of that like really dark chocolate. And I love dark chocolate. That's I get zero coffee in it at all. But there's just something about that Whiskey Row Fire series that's just unique and complex in a way that it's so hard to explain.
Yep. And I'm nosing it after the fact again, and it's got a ton. Honestly, I probably prefer the nose on the Whiskey Row Fire series, but it's just that
Yep.
nice, rich that's coming from that double oaking
Yeah.
process from that extra old is why I'm really just very, very fond of it, because it's not that weird oaky double oak. It's
No, yeah.
It's a nice, smooth, mellow portion of it, but
Agreed.
the nose on this Whiskey Row Fire series, after like going back in on it, man. I mean, it's
It's-
fantastic.
The
It's
baking spices come through.
The baking spices
Yes,
are
they
coming
do.
stronger
That's
through. Yep.
immediately what I
Yep.
noticed.
Yep. You get some cardamom. You get a little bit of clove.
Yeah, it's that cardamom is what I'm getting. That's really, really intriguing.
How much do you think
spices.
the water, if you wouldn't have put water in there, how much do you think the nose after on the empty glass would have affected
It
it?
probably would have still just been a hair richer. I mean, I think you still would have got the same things. I think you still would have got those baking spices and things like that. I always rinse them. Like, I mean, you can see mine's completely, because I always sip them out and rinse them out. And then I go back and smell them, because they still hold a lot of residual.
They
like,
really
smell.
do. Yeah.
That's why Glens are so good, And I really love the Canadian Glens because they're even thicker at the bottom, so they really hang in there. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Is a Whiskey Row Fire also 24 months aged?
No. It's just that was.
So
a
when they say
blend.
extra old for the 117, that is the the
That's
length.
the 1910.
That's the 19.
Yeah,
That's
that's only the
how long it
1910
was
is
in
the
the-
extra old.
Gotcha, okay.
So the 1910 typically is an 18-month. I mean, is a
9 month.
9-month old thing. Then when they did the 1910 extra old, it was 18 months. The one they just released was 24 months.
The XXO.
Okay.
Yeah, the
2 years.
XXO was 2 years.
okay.
And then the XXXO is going to be 36 months. And then I made a joke when we went to the actual thing when I was talking to Melissa. I said we're going to have to go to Roman numerals. It's going to be IV for the fourth one, you know. So that way they don't call it
III.
instead of extra old.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Whiskey Row Fire is 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
9 to
No, I mean, no, the Whiskey Row Fires is just a blend. That's just a blend they did. Like they put the barrels together, blended it, and then watered it down to 100 proof.
It's just super. Both of them are super.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
They're solid picks.
Great pigs. All right, I think that's this episode. We did not have a grand slam dunk of
Nope.
choice. Barbara had to mess everything up, just like every time, you know.
I know.
Don't make your old fashions.
If you want to find Bourbon Barrel Talk, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Twitter. You can email us at bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on Spotify, iTunes, whatever your favorite medium is for grabbing your podcast information.
Spotify.
This is Scott, Barbara,
Scott, Barbara,
John,
John,
and Jared
and Jackass.
signing off.
Jared.
Peace
Peace.
out.